Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a fun one because we are going to be testing out an under eye primer. I personally don't think I've actually ever heard of an under eye primer. I feel like I have, but I feel like they've always been in like pots where you have to like, you know, and it's kind of like a moisturizer type deal. But this is like an actual concealer tube. This is by Catrice, so it's drugstore. And I love that I can just swipe it on with a doe foot like I would concealer. So again, this is by Catrice Cosmetics. You can get it at the drugstore. You can get it at Shoppers if you're in Canada. And I was going to that display to pick up another of the Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer. I really enjoy this concealer and I just haven't owned it for a long time. So I was at the drugstore and I just wanted to pick one of these up, and then I saw this and I was like, that would make a cool video. I feel like I've never really seen that before. This is the Liquid Camouflage Under Eye Primer. I did use it with the Liquid Camouflage Concealer just so I had the best chance of really seeing what this primer does. I used it on one side of my face and then the other side I did not. That's this side I didn't. And yeah, I'm gonna wear it throughout the day. We're gonna see if my concealer settles into fine lines on one side versus the other side. I don't think this is new or anything. I just think that this is like a new discovery for me. So I'll read you the product description. It says, silky smooth hydrating primer which creates the ideal base for Catrice concealer, reduces the look of fine lines and perfects under eye concealer application. So this is completely clear. I know it kind of appears white, but when you swatch it and when I applied it to my under eyes, so it can be used for any skin tone, though I do know that the Catrice concealer has a terrible shade range, I will say. So this visibly fills in lines. It's a liquid texture, it's transparent, and it's vegan. It does kind of have like a silicone slip to it, so I think that's like an ingredient that they use to fill in the fine lines and texture. It doesn't feel like super silicone-y, like it's not like a Benefit Professional or like Smashbox Photo Finish primer kind of feel. It's definitely a lot thinner and it feels a lot more hydrating. Catrice recommends to apply it under your eyes with the applicator and then use your fingers because it'll warm up the product. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just a under eye primer. And I think this is a really cool idea because I know when I apply, you know, moisturizer or skin prep or primer before my makeup, I usually avoid the under eye area. So it's nice to have something that is specifically formulated for the under eyes because I often do like avoid that area with whatever primers I'm using. I don't know, I think it's a really cool idea. I don't see a ton of these on the market. I don't know if it's just because I'm not really looking for them or if they just don't exist. But yeah, I thought it was a really cool idea and it was affordable, so I thought I would do a quick little video on it. So if you want to see a demo on this product, then you can just keep on watching. Okay, my friends, so let's get into testing out this under eye primer. I'm so excited because I've never really tried a product like this. It doesn't come with a lot of directions, so I'm wondering if I have to let it sit at all. Okay, so it doesn't say if you have to let it dry or not, so I'm going to just apply it to this eye, and then I think I'm gonna do my regular concealer on this side with no primer, and then I'll go back in with the concealer and go over this eye once it's kind of like settled. So I'll zoom you in a little bit. There's no significant scent to it. It's completely clear, so it would work for all skin tones. Well, it looks completely clear. I shouldn't say that just yet. So let's just get to applying this. I don't know how much I'm supposed to apply. And it says to tap it in with your finger to warm up the product, which makes sense. It kind of feels a little bit slippy, so I think there is a silicone in here, which isn't a bad thing per se. Just something to note because I know some people lately want to go like silicone free. Okay, I'm gonna let that sit. I feel like I've tapped it in pretty well, and I am going to use the Catrice Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer. I just feel like it would be best to use the concealer that comes with the primer, you know what I mean? They're the same brand, so I feel like I'd have the best luck with that concealer. So I'm just tapping this out as I would with literally any other concealer. And to this eye, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to sharpen up my wing, and then I'm going to apply hopefully approximately the same amount of concealer on this side, and I'm going to get to blending. Okay, so I'm just gonna let both sides kind of dry and sit so I can compare them. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know if it's actually done anything. So here are both sides of my under eyes a couple minutes after application. I feel like they don't look too different. The side with the primer might look a little bit better, but not like a ton. I wouldn't say that it made a huge difference. I haven't tapped out my creases on either side since I've applied the concealer. I do think the side with the primer looks slightly better, but like not a ton. Like I'm not sure I would buy this product just for this difference. Okay, so next I'm just going to tap out my creases using my sponge. Make sure that everything is nice and smooth, and then I'm just taking a powder puff and I'm setting my under eyes. I'm using the Mercier translucent powder. This step is like a huge must for me because, as I've previously mentioned, I do have a lot of under eye creases for concealer to kind of settle into, so I always have to powder my under eyes. So I'm just doing the same thing on this eye, and I just like to press the powder kind of into the under eye area instead of using a brush to kind of swipe. I've found this works better and it moves the product around less. I think looking side by side, it does look a little bit smoother. Let me know what you guys think. What side is smoother to you? I feel like this side is not as well lit. Now I feel like this side isn't as well lit. Getting the lighting to be even on both sides of my face has been such a nightmare in this room, but I do think that this eye does look a little bit smoother. Probably just the silicone in the product. I don't know if I would buy a whole product for this. Not that it was expensive, but I just don't see that it's necessary at this point. But here is the comparison. This side has the primer and this one does not. You guys let me know if you guys can see a significant difference, and I'm gonna stop looking up so hard because I'm giving myself a headache. I'm just gonna pop off camera quickly so I can finish the rest of my face, and I feel like my concealer will have more time to kind of settle in and melt into my skin, and then I can come back and we can kind of do another comparison once it's been on my face for a little bit longer. Okay, my friends, so now that I've let this concealer sit for probably about an hour, I feel like I can see a pretty noticeable difference. On this side, I have not even like little bumps, but just like under eye texture that honestly I always have on both sides, that I feel like is more smoothed out on this side. Like you can still kind of see it, it's still definitely there, but it is smoother on this side. As for under eye creases, I do also feel like this side is a bit smoother. Not like significantly, but when I'm looking up close in my magnifying mirror, I can definitely see a difference. I just don't know if the difference is like worth the money yet. However, I am gonna do a wear test. I am gonna go to work and I will check back in with you, but so far I definitely do see a difference. I'm just not sure 100% yet if it's a big enough difference to like justify purchasing it, if that makes sense. Okay, my friends, so I am back from work. It is now 7:30 p.m. It is pouring outside. The sky is so dark, like it looks like it's like 10 p.m. But I wanted to film this anyway, but sorry if the lighting's kind of not great. Here's an under eye update, and I think that the side with the primer actually creased more. No, maybe not quite as much. I don't even know if this is helpful. Like I can't really see in the viewfinder if you can see what I see. Actually, I think it did kind of help. At first I didn't think so, but then I remembered that this is the side with the primer. I think it did help. But again, I'm still on the fence on if it helped enough to justify purchasing it. You know what I mean? Like I think if you just moisturized, it would probably do the same thing. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that it's significant in preventing creasing? I'm gonna say no, it's not worth it because it's not as smoothing. Like nobody from afar is gonna be able to tell a difference. Like I had a really hard time telling a difference between the two eyes. Like it's definitely there, but I don't think I would be able to notice if I wasn't looking in like a magnifying mirror that shows literally everything. So honestly, with this one, I would just say save your money. Not worth it. The difference is so minuscule, it just doesn't seem like it's actually worth the investment. Not that it was a large investment, but still. Just use your moisturizer, you know? And that is everything for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for watching if you've made it this far. Please don't forget to subscribe if you want to. If you don't, that's okay. I just really appreciate you being here. It helps out my channel so very much by you watching, so thank you. Please leave any video requests you may have in the comments down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!